Bam, we're live, brother. Who are you? Who are you?
I am Trevor again. It's almost
doing our fan follow-up. So when a guest signs on for one top 5, they end up getting a second one from the fans. Trevor and I were just talking. I just finished on the Scotch whiskey side. We were doing a interview of a director-producer. Whiskey, the water of life, which is what whiskey means in Gaelic. They're doing this cool documentary that got messed up by COVID. So I do have whiskey out on the table, and yes, it's early, but somewhere in Europe right now, it's like 2:00 p.m.
That whole it's 5:00 somewhere, right?
Right, and I'm not thinking of a Caribbean beach. I'm always thinking of like Norway or Denmark or Sweden. Magnus will come in here any second, and so let's see who we got. Matt Curiosities is in here. I'm still Matt the Greek is the best way to, I think, say that. We got Lou is in, and Timon is in. So Trevor, let's see. What did you think of your guest episode? Because we're going to do the fans list in a little bit, but what did you think of the one last week?
No, I mean, it was a blast. I love, I mean, obviously I have 4 kids in the house, one being a teenager. It's, you know, and wargaming and really gaming in general kind of gets, but especially wargaming gets that, I guess, moniker of it's like the old people, right? The old guys. Right. So really exposing that historical based gaming, even if they stay at the, you know, memoir or battle cry level, it's a great way because they can, you know, experience history in a different facet than just, you know, at textbooks.
100%. Yeah, I call it playing in history. So, because I'm always imagining, I know there's this huge group that loves to read historical things, whether it's historical fiction or actually nonfiction. And then all the movie folks, that's why Jed and I were doing we're starting to try to do some of these Wargamers review movies, because there's so many folks that have no idea that you can drop into, name it, you know, whatever, you know, Roman, Gaelic wars, you know, whatever. So what I learned from you being on was, number one, when I was 16, I was just trying to think of what I would name my boys when I had them so that people could hear their name with Brunsheen. Meanwhile, your sons could come over and probably defeat the House of Brunsheen just based on the names Leonidas and Augustus, right? Was your other son? Is it Augustus? Yes. Yeah. Is there like a son where his name is like Tim? Do you have a Tim in the house?
No, we have Madeline is my 5-year-old, and my niece who's with us is named Ton. So that's about as normal as you're going to get. So got it. Very good.
And then you have, of course, Leonidas.
Yeah.
And Augustus. Yes.
Yeah.
I was immediately.
And the dog's named Doggotron. So
wow. Yeah, I was even telling Bo, who's almost 14. I was telling him about the show, and he was like, you know, I mean, he's 14 or almost 14. So he's like, great story, Dad. And then he was off. Van Overbay is in. Boom. He's saying good morning, folks. So no, it was a great show. Had a blast. I love gaming with kids. What got me even introduced into doing this whole thing and doing some podcast stuff with Tom from the Dice Tower was I was listening to his podcast years ago, like 2007 or whatever. And he was going to bases in Korea and South Korea and working with active duty personnel taking games in. And I had been in Korea just for a couple of weeks. And so hearing that, I was like, well, that's neat. And then I was running a team of officers in the East Bureau of Wichita, Kansas. And I thought, you know what? We have a high school, and it's real hard for cops to have positive interaction with high school kids. It's usually at that point speeding, minor possession of alcohol, minor possession of marijuana, something. It's a negative context generally.
Yeah.
And so I got a bunch of my guys together that some of them like gaming already. Some of them I'd introduced to gaming. And I said, what if we go to the high school? And we got in with the AVID program. And that's where I meet Dexter. And then I just emailed Tom, hey, thank you. You kind of gave me the idea of this. And he's like, wow, put that in a digital recording and mail it to me. Yeah. And that's how really all this started. So I love what gaming can do with kids or youth. And then you add in the historical side. And you're right. You know, I kind of look around and I still feel young, even though I'm 50, but you know, we're an aging demographic.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? What do you think? I mean, when I go to cons, it does seem like we're the granddads of the convention sometimes.
Well, yeah, I'm younger, so I mean, I've been going to conventions here for about 5 years, and you know, I usually hang out in the war game section, so I'm nowhere near the oldest. And there's a group of guys that kind of roam around in California that are like the war game boot camp, which are fantastic for war games because they know these games like, you know, memoir, where they could sit down and show it and really teach it. Right. And I've taken my kids multiple times to these things, and just that kind of experience, because it's a different experience. And they've had their friends over, and we've done kind of the same thing where we'll set up games like, hey, you know, and the thing is that those bigger, flashier games, you know, Fireball Island or, you know, Crokinole or something like that, where you could set it up and they'll come, you know, just play with it. And then I was like, hey, I can show you how to do this.
Right.
One you mentioned last week, King of Tokyo, is a great one for that, because you can set it up and they're definitely going to come look at those things. And that's kind of an entry point. But, you know, Europe, especially, you know, Germany and France, I know they do it where like board games is a part of like the family structure where you get together and play. So I don't know. I don't think it's the same in America. It's more like Monopoly or, you know, Clue or something. But yeah, I mean, for our family, it definitely is.
That's where we're in this beautiful, I mean, the Renaissance has been going on for a while, but it was when the whole reason I started even getting back into gaming heavily was I was down playing Day of Defeat, a World War II mod off of Counter-Strike, which is, you know, Steam, early Steam. And it was a Saturday. We had no kids, and my wife came down and said, you know, you've been down here for 2.5 hours, because I was doing first-person shooter. I'm like, no, it hasn't been that long. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, my God, I'm in the basement just gaming. But I was in the zone. And I had a computer magazine that in the very back had what they called Cardboard Corner, and they featured Ticket to Ride of all things. And so I thought, well, let me order this, and maybe we can game together like my old style Avalon Hill stuff. And that she was just like, and then she ended up loving the Euros, you know, and she was all in, and I was like, this is awesome. And it even tightened our relationship together. And, you know, I wasn't going to get her to go play, well, not even Memoir, you know, I mean, she just doesn't like the war games as much, but it was great. Now, I want to give some credence before we get to the list. Your kids, I believe, Leonidas, or I can't tell which one, or Augustus wanted to come on and talk about their games.
They all three of them have been watching the video like this whole last week, and it was pretty funny that right afterwards, right, they saw it later that day because they knew I was going to come in here, and one of my sons asked me, he's like, so are you famous now? Are you like Elvis? And I'm like, no, I don't think I'm like Elvis. Like, if I'm Elvis, you're John Wayne. So I mean,
right. Yeah. Tell him he's more likely to make $1 million on YouTube than I am, because my boy will go watch Minecraft and I'll look and I'll go, oh my God, this creator has 11 million views. And he's like, yeah, he's 19. I'm like, oh my God. All right, so who do we got here?
So Madeline, actually, to answer that question, Madeline already kind of went viral on YouTube.
Let me go full screen for you guys. Let me get you guys full screen.
So Madeline, how old are you now?
5.
And you went viral when you were what, 2.5, 3 years old? My brother-in-law posted a video of her singing and dancing in the car, like in her car seat when she was 2, and that night it hit like 200,000 and it's at like 11 million. And I'm like, that was my first experience with getting phone calls from random countries like, hey, we want to use your daughter's video in some promotional thing. And I'm like, what is going on? So
beautiful. Now, Madeline, are those princess gloves? What do you have there? Yes.
Gloves. It's like a girl from Frozen, but not the bracelet from it.
I love it. Very nice.
So, Madeline, what game do you like to play? Well, we'll help you because I know you always just call it the horse game. So Colt Express. So what do you like about Colt Express?
Colt Express is because when I can like bug people, I can climb up to the top, or I can bug people down. And I can shoot people.
that's horses and shooting. That's great.
So, yeah, Colt Express has these little 3D cardboard cutouts, and the whole idea is you're a train robber, and you're either on the inside the car or on top of the car.
Or inside the front place.
Or inside the front.
Where, like, there's this orange guy that drives the train, but then when he's on top and you're on top, you have to get bumped down again.
Yep.
Perfect.
So the whole thing is it's a card-based game where you get a couple of different options. You can move, you can shoot, you can punch, or you can pick up money, and the whole idea is to get the most money. And she's been playing this for about a year or so, and it's every time it's her time to pick a game, this is like the #1 game requested. So
beautiful.
That's right.
Now I say Colt Express.
All right.
I usually call it a train game because it has trains.
I like it. I love that. I call Ticket to Ride the train game sometimes, and I like your tiara.
That's the other one. All right. Who's next?
It's Augustus.
All right. So this is Augustus. How old are you, Augustus?
9.
All right. What game?
I've noticed real quick, Augustus, you and Madeline both have shirts that say Sharks. Is that a team?
Yeah.
I know that team. Yes, very cool. All right, sorry, I'll step out. Go ahead.
All right, so what game do you always like to play or ask about?
And you never say yes.
I know. Takes forever. So
it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We have
nice.
1, 2.
We have everything for it.
And it's the first one, the work.
Yes.
So it's about you're going around the board and you're on a team against someone else. Usually my dad will be the bad guys and me and my brother will be 2 of the good guys.
Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite turtle? I bet you like I'm trying to think now. Which is your favorite one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Raphael.
Raphael. Very good. Does he have the nunchucks?
No, that's Michelangelo.
Oh, of course.
Actually, that's Daddy's favorite.
So the game is a you can do it 2 ways. You can do 1 versus many, or you can play. They set up a way where you can do, the kind of automated bad guy, but it's movement on the map, and it's a pain to set up. It's similar to Memoir, but man, it's fantastic to play. And this is high on my list of wanting to paint. It's got a bajillion miniatures, and I'm just like, I don't know if I have enough green in my paint supply.
Great game, and that is a huge box.
Oh, so they did a Kickstarter. Anything that's like one of these IPs that I played when I was a kid, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, I have. I back all of it because I just want to paint the miniatures, and my desire to paint it is more than my ability to paint it generally. But yeah, it came with a ton. I mean, there was like 2 or 3 boxes that size. One of them was just minis. All right.
Beautiful.
You're done. Next.
I like it. Good job. Good choice.
All right, here's the older one. What's up, Leo?
Brother.
How old are you now?
I'm almost 11.
Yeah, he's 11 in like 2 weeks.
Very good.
So what game do you like?
Space.
That one. So what's Space Base like?
It's where you have this little board with cards on it. You're trying to get better cards to give you more points.
Love it.
So it's got these little tiny cards. So this is the maturation really of Machi Koro, and much better design. I think I love the idea of it, and yeah, it's my wife loves this game too. The dice rolling and you get whatever number shows up. What else do you like about it?
You also get coins and other stuff out of what other people roll.
Nice.
You get to pay attention on.
Yeah, constant paying attention.
Now, John D. Clare, I'm trying to think, didn't he do Mystic Veil?
I don't remember who.
I could be wrong. I love Mystic Veil does the deal with the transparencies where it's card, you're kind of like adding the cards together and card building and drafting.
Yeah, it's let me adjust this.
Sure. We can go back to this. Did you have anybody else coming in?
No, is it my wife's favorite for sure is either Dominion, which we have all of it, but it's she loves that game, and Catan. And then my niece, it was funny, my niece has been here now 13 months and she knew nothing about games. She knew how to play a couple of poker style games, but nothing else. And I mean, I have like 400 or so, not counting magazine games. So it was a slow exposure of games. So now she's kind of developed a few favorites, which, like Wingspan, Stone Age, Catan, some of the simpler grasping ones she likes.
Love it.
But she's tried a lot of different things. So
games are just so social. So social. We're getting ready to have, I just put out a flyer. We're calling it Arctic Wolverine. We've got several just by the nature. Most of my team has had COVID because we worked right through COVID. We're also supposed to be getting all the vaccinations, but we're going to have a late February where I'm going to have a big bonfire outside. No matter what the weather is, we're going to go out and be around the fire. But I'm able to bring over a lot of folks that haven't really been exposed. I've actually exposed them to a werewolf and Time's Up, the team game. And we're going to do Deception, Murder in Hong Kong, so they can bring their spouses. And then we're going to do this, hey, it's going to be cold outside. We're going outside one way or the other. We're going to be around the fire. If it's decent enough, I think I'm going to convert just a deck of cards into a burn away, probably werewolf game. So we can play one game out in the middle of hopefully it'll be snowing or cold or something. And they can even burn their cards.
You can buy, I know the werewolf ones, they keep coming up with like the new generations. I know you can buy like the deck of the Ultimate Werewolf for probably $5-6.
Well, that might be the way to go then. Yeah. Cause I've got my Ultimate Edition, which I was saying we'll probably play several games inside and then we'll go outside. And so that we're looking forward to. And then after that, we're actually going to do a kids version where everybody can bring their kids and we're going to just focus on like even small kids games. So
yeah. And if it's nice enough outside, those type of games that you can just set up and forget about them, Fireball Island, even Mousetrap, or some of these ones where it's like a big contraption.
Yes.
Those are perfect.
Definitely. Hey, Vorpal, my son loves role playing. So the games my board games he gravitates to have heavy theme like Zombicide, and he'll even role play it up while we're doing Zombicide. So yeah, it's funny. He looks at my games and he's like, I wish you had more role playing. I'm like, oh my God, I would have killed to be in this house when I was a kid.
So one of the downfalls for having a bunch of kids games, and I have like a whole Calyx shelf of just Haba games, was Leonidas started getting games specifically for him when he was about 5. And, Augustus came along like a year and a half later, so it was easy. And Leonidas tends to go towards the, more type Euro games where Augustus wants to play with something. But eventually they age out of it, and you have all these 20 games that are designed for 4 and 5 year olds, and I'm like, so thankfully I have nieces, so I've kind of separated them out. It's like, hey, I'm going to your birthday party, show your daughter how to play it, and I was like, oh no, I forgot the game. I don't know how that. That's my online joke when people always ask about Battle Masters and Hero Quest and these bigger old games. They're like, how do you store that? And I'm like, I stored at other people's houses for a fee, one-time fee.
Perfect. All right, now let's see. If you can, watch some of the comments as we go.
Yep.
Vorpal loves to come in with great comments. I'm going to pop over and do a share screen. Let me see. I think I have it all set up, so that should be fine. Let me pop to this, and then I've got to get to that, and then, oh boy, how did that happen? Let's see. I've got 2 options here instead of just the one. That's interesting.
While you search that out, Mike's comment about dinosaur games it's so on point. I had 2 of them. One of them is Dinosaurs of the Lost World, which it's an older game, so it doesn't have the bling that I would want it to. And it was funny. I have the Batman Gotham City Chronicles, and there's a dinosaur in there. So every time we set that up, which is another nightmare to set up, the kids would want to play the dinosaur. So
perfect. All right, I think I've got it set up. I went back and checked our screen.
All
so
right.
Just keep an eye on the comments so I don't totally ignore them, and I'll try to give breaks where you can jump in. We'll start with Matt the Greek. And you can see his top 5 with his daughters, Nicole, born 1990, Alexis, 1994. And he has 5 National Geographic trivia, 4 Battleship by Milton Bradley. So we know that one. Ticket to Ride by Days of Wonder. Dino Hunt by Steve Jackson Games. And number 1, Lost World by Avalon Hill. Yeah, that's all. And that one I have not... I don't know if I've even remember seeing that. I'll have to look at that.
If he's talking about Lost World, I think he's talking about Dinosaurs of the Lost World, which is the one I was just mentioning. And I'll show you that.
Dude, let me.
Pancaldi's in the chat.
Woo! Pancaldi's in. Canada's in the house. Oh, Canada.
We were just talking about Canada earlier.
Yes, we were. The shipping in Canada is difficult. Let's see. He's got some comments. We'll come up to the next list. Forrest Cole. Number 5, Euros were good for the kids when they were younger, 5 to 10-year-old range. Mystery in the Abbey, I have that. Power Grid, love it. Catan, etc. Number 4 is his Dudes on the Map. Have worked well here. Axis and Allies, Risk, Walking Dead, Shogun, Conquest of Empire, Fortress America, great game with the asymmetric powers. 3 war games that are not too long or troublesome to set up. I think CDGs are especially good for historical insights. He's played Washington's War, Columbia Games, 1812, and some others with his son. Also play tested with Compass Games, Bulge Game, and the recent Shores of Tripoli. I love that game. Great production, and it actually drove me to go read a book based on the entire history of that region and the first American Navy strength with the Constitution. Let's see, 2 games that simplify or improve on the standard types. Examples, Victory 2, a Dudes on the Map game that can be played fast and simple, Catan-like map. Terror Victory in Europe is like a simpler and faster playing Fury of Dracula. Flashpoint Fire Rescue that gets more play here than Pandemic. Dude, it's faster, simpler play. We have that here as well. Plus, we play with the rescue dog. Yeah, the dog's always a big hit. Honorable mentions. Love the suggestions in the video. We haven't tried all those, but I think that would be great too. And then, of course, number one, the basics, chess, poker, etc., for such reasons as availability of learning resources, ease of finding opponents, clubs, competitions, organizations, etc., teaching basic problem solving, bluffing, risking, handling, and learning further from losing, etc. I'll take a breath. Do we have anything in the comments, brother?
So it looks like Matt was talking about, or it definitely is, the Dinosaurs of the Lost World. If you want to share the video, I have it here for you. And Nathaniel's son just looks like he was designing a game on the Persian War with the Washington War mechanisms. So I'm interested in that. That'd be good.
Yeah, that's very cool.
So can you share this, Bart? Because I have the Dinosaurs of the Lost World. I could show it for you.
Yeah, let me see. Let me get you focused here. So there we go. So Dinosaurs of the Lost World, and there is the good tilt. Wow. Yeah, that would have got. I can see that. That's cool. A big fat Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah, that's definitely and it's
Hold on.
The old things in there. Oh, look at this guy.
Look at this. Look at this. This is just joined in here. Holy moly. This is, we don't even really know if that's Pancaldi the Music Man.
Sing something for us.
Oh, it is.
Trevor, I'm sorry. I forgot about your thing you did last week, man. And I had it. And I'm like, okay, yeah. So the show's over. And then I get a text from this guy. There was no special guest on HAMTAG or whatever Bart's show's called. Yeah, scheiße. But anyways, how are you guys?
Awesome. And I'm loving your background. You got these cool pictures in the background. This looks like a grown-up person's house.
You know, it's funny that you say that, but I actually feel a little bit more grown up. I'm not as grown up as Trevor. You know, I'm trying to lose a little.
Have you seen Trevor's kids could basically take my house over by name alone? Leonidas, Augustus, these kids are like running the world here.
These are your children's name?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's his. Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. I know.
So run your children's name by me.
So Leonidas is 10, almost 11.
Too cool. The kid's name's Leonidas.
Yeah. Augustus is 9, and then Madeline is 5, and that was because I love and that's the Americanized version of Mary Magdalene. So that's how that came about. So
I love it. I think it's fantastic. It gives them, you know what? It gives them such a sense of individuality, man. You know, and I used to hang around with. Sorry, I'm being very verbose here.
What? Hold on. You?
Well, my meds are kicking in, man.
Well, it's like what, Saturday afternoon where you're at, right?
Woo! Yeah, it's 12:28. I guess it's time.
Woo! That's old number 7.
So
Wrong channel.
I used to hang with I have a lot of Greek friends. You know, being in Montreal, we have a lot of many different type of ethnicity friends, right?
Is Montreal known for its Greek, or is it?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Montreal is known for its Greek, for the Hasidic population, and you know when they say Montreal style bagels, seriously, it's Montreal style. It's miles apart from going to New York and getting on a menu Montreal style bagel. Yeah, no, you gotta come here. Anyway, so we were talking about kids, and I just went to food. Okay.
Left turn.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. And a lot of these, my friends' name are Spartacus, Aphrodite. You know how many Aphrodites I know, man?
Wow. You're kidding.
I even know a Socrates.
Yeah.
Socrates.
I thought Trevor, instead of Madeline, I would have guessed Joan. A whole Joan of Arc thing going on.
That's it's back to that. My last name is 4 letters, so I couldn't do a 4-letter first name. So
that is true. Joan Just would be, although that almost sounds Hollywood.
that almost sounds like a rock star from the 60s and 70s. And that's
You know, Zappa's kids' names are unique also.
Who?
Frank Zappa. What do you mean, who?
Oh, yeah. Well, we couldn't hear you. It's like you were eating one of them bagels.
yeah, stop speaking French.
So what are you guys doing here? You're doing games for children.
We're doing a fan list for games for to play with kids, but since you're not a fan, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
I thought about something. It might be a little bit inappropriate, but think about it. A child, once it's born,
Yeah.
the first thing it sees, basically the first most comforting thing, you know what I'm going to say, Bart, you know what I'm going to say, is the mother's breast.
Oh, that's
Right? Yeah, that's what I meant to say. So you'd figure a game like Memo Boosin would be the perfect game for a kid.
especially for the Germans.
Bah, I mean, you know, breasts are international.
Sure. I think a young infant definitely is breast focused.
There you go. I rest my case.
A more streamlined version of that, you could just play like the old Advanced Dungeons and Dragons and just show them the books.
True.
Yeah, no, that's a bit too much, man.
Oh yeah. You
I
want
mean,
to
seriously, you know, I mean, I love art, and it's got a place in whatever. And sometimes I see these books or some of these yes. And some of these drawings or art is pretty wicked.
Yeah, it's definitely, you can definitely date it. It's like, okay, this is definitely 70s and 80s because
Like, who was Franzetta?
man, who are you talking about?
What? How old are you guys, man?
Well, see, I was born in 70.
You no way, Trevor. How old are you, man?
Man, I was born in the 80s.
What?
Yeah. He's young. This is good. This is part of what this show's about, though. We want these younger generations to come into our hobby.
So why'd you invite me?
We needed a French representation.
Yeah, your energy is just unstoppable.
Yeah, but I'm the oldest guy here, and I look like the youngest. Like, figure it out.
You do. It's good living. It's that Canadian living you got going on.
No, it's the fact, because it pushes out all the wrinkles. You know.
That is it. I will tell you this. So where I work in the police department. We're very multiracial, and there was a gal that was working, happened to be African American gal, and I would have guessed she was 38. Her name is Stella. She's retired now, but Stella asked me, she said, "How old do I look?" Well, first of all, come on. But I thought, yeah, I'm not that dumb. I'm like, well, Stella, 38.
Correct.
And
the only answer is 25.
Right. Yeah, I should have gone even lower. She was 55, and I was like, get out of here.
Beautiful.
Well, it's my best quote yet because Stella was hilarious. Funny. She started yelling at me, "Hey, Brunchine, black don't crack, Brunchine, black don't crack." I'm like, what is this? And she's like, "It's our melatonin, Brunchine. You're going to look really old when you're my age."
Yep. You know, we got the worst complexion in insects, man. Insects have better complexions than us.
Insects? What are you talking about?
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, you know, what is this?
I don't know. What are you talking about?
I'm Italian, so
you're Italian. Yeah, you just need to go off into some Italian at that point. Give me a little phrase and throw your hand around or something.
Hey, che stai a fa? Che dici tu mo?
That sounded dirty, but I'm with you.
No, I just asked, what do you, no, I'm clean, man.
We're getting demonetized.
I'm clean. No, I'm clean. I just said, hey, what's going on here? What are you doing?
Well, that was good. I thought maybe I was having some kind of dessert. I wasn't sure.
Can we stop talking about me? What's going on in this show, man?
I don't know. Well, you brought it over to food.
It's not my show.
All right, so here's what we do, Danny boy, the music man. What we do is that Trevor came on as a guest. We did kids' top 5. We listed ours. And then the following week, we come back, and everybody that's put their list in the comments, I pop that up on the share screen. I read their comments. Trevor or Judd, whoever's on, make sure we keep an eye on the commenters, especially Vorpal Bite. If Vorpal has a great comment and you don't get it out there, Vorpal ain't happy. So you got to give Vorpal, hold on, like this. First of the, it's a trap. See, so Vorpal likes that. If you don't get that up on the screen, Vorpal will let you have it.
But, can I do that? No, I can't. Yeah.
Oh, you
Do it
get
on your show.
comments?
Yeah, no, because I saw Vorpal. You put up the his fun for the entire family quote.
Ah, yes. Hold on. Where was that? Where was
That's
that?
okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
we saw
Vorpal had this one. This is the one Vorpal
Yeah.
really liked. Yeah, that's what you're looking for.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not looking for it. I was just saying.
I know, but Vorpal, look at this. He's got that whole 1977 Jaws, the shark thing going up there. Of course he was going to be all over that. Of course he was going to be all over that. No, so this is good. Now, you popping in the show like this means Trevor had to share the link with you because I didn't share it with you.
He's been bugging me for like 2 weeks now.
I know. I love it. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh my, Danny boy got the link, baby.
I wanted to do what did Bobby Factor do? What happened?
I focused in on you. Trevor had to go I'm assuming he had to go do a bathroom break, so I thought I would subtly focus on you, and then you brought attention to it.
And what was I saying, for God's sake?
Bobby Factor.
Oh yeah, he Zoom bombed me, so I wanted to Zoom bomb. I guess it's not Zoom bomb. Go ahead.
Ooh, look at that ambush. That I believe belongs to Pancaldi.
What are you talking about?
He doesn't even remember.
He doesn't remember.
I don't get it.
No, I had all the ambush and battle hymn like untouched and posted it on
Oh yeah.
Facebook, but I was like, I'm not shipping it to Canada because who knows if it'll ever get there.
And did you sell them?
Oh no, he still got it. Oh, he sold the other one.
Yeah, I had all the expansions, the main one, battle hymn untouched, but I have my copies, the players' copies, so I ended up just
Purple Heart is fabulous.
Ah man, I only have Move Out. I have your expansions, Chief, which
Yep.
I still haven't played yet. But it's funny, eh? It's like I'm reserving that game for when I get old. I am
There
old.
you go. Well, that and then Ron Nicholson, who's he's just gone into semi-retirement. He's like a book editor. He's helping me get them back out, and he played through them, and he's like, they need some work, Grunchine. I was like, oh my God. And he jumped in, and oh my God, he was right there. He was like, this is confusing. This number, I think you actually got the wrong number. Boy, that paragraph system will kill you, dude. If you miss a number link,
Yeah.
you are in trouble. And he caught some of those. I'm like, you, sir, are a genius. So if anybody runs into a missed number link, get with me. And once I get the new version out, I'll just send it. Now, that'll be everybody. But I got a list.
You're planning on doing some more, Bart?
Well, I would love to do a Wild West version and even a post-apocalyptic version, but I knew I had to go in and rework some of this. And then Ron, whose skill set is unbelievable. I mean, he's an editor of books. And I told him, don't spare my feelings, because good things don't come out of you being nice.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, but oh my God, I had to put on my thick armor and bring Band-Aids, because he was like, wow, this link's confusing. And I'm like, oh my goodness, let me look at it. And then when I got the COVID, I actually got like stopped. I've got it sitting out on the table. It's got dust. I got to return to it. But yeah, he's giving it a more professional, do not spare Bart's feelings edit, and I'm having to make sure it makes sense. And then he was like, well, this makes sense, but what if I did something off the wall? And I'm like, oh my God, I never even imagined somebody would do that.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, yeah, I basically almost broke it. I'm like, well, yeah, but who runs across an open field with just a pistol? He's like, somebody will do it. And I was like, okay. So yeah, he's been great, but I got to get back in there. So I would love to do a Western version. The idea that I've got outlined is outlaws that are basically robbing a bank and making their their escape. That's mission 1. And then the posse's after them. So then it leads to several other different missions. And that was my idea, but I got to finish the episode 4 of the Follow Me mission, and I've got to clean up episodes 1, 2, and 3. So
the Western one you want to do, the people robbing the bank, is that us?
Well, we could definitely call one of them Pancaldi if you.
Oh, I mean, is it the players robbing the bank?
Oh yeah. You're the outlaws. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I thought you were wanting your name in there or something. Be like featuring Dan Pancaldi is.
Sure.
Yeah, he's your Huckleberry.
Can Trevor be my sidekick?
Sure, he's your little guy.
And can you be the bad guy?
Yeah, Black Bart. It's perfect. I'm just telling you. Yeah, we got to do a pirate one now. So sorry, we've completely come off the rails, but this is what I love. Hold on, where did he go? The bagel just came in or something. Where did he go?
He's showing off his immense depth of war games.
Yes, he's grabbing something. David K says, we're going to pull in a guest here real quick. I love playing Space Hulk with my son, the Lego board games. That's true. Lego Battle of Hoth. That one's out of print and hard to find, if I remember right. Are a lot of fun.
No. Lego Battle of Hoth, I think they just came out with again in Christmas time. They reprinted a couple of the Lego-based games, if I'm not mistaken.
Really? Very cool.
I saw those, and I was itching to buy them right around Christmas time.
Very nice. What were you grabbing there, Music Man?
Oh, hold on. Since we're on the children thing, you ever see this, man?
Hold on. Let me focus in on you. Spare Time. Wow, that's like bowling game. I've not seen
game, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I wanted Stuka Joe to do a playthrough of it, but anyways.
You got Trevor laughing. That's cool. Stuka. Yeah, he can come in there with a big old pow explosion when the pins get
Something like that.
I bought that originally, and they need to do a redo. The slow time is maybe too slow. Have you played it yet?
No, but I bought it for $75.
Yeah, it'll go. It's kind of a one-offer, but you're into like microseconds in that game.
Seriously.
Yeah. It's best played by. There's a couple guys that will go to like BGG back when you could go to BGG, who at the con would run you through a pre-script like scenario and kind of teach you and walk you through. And a great way to learn. I tried to get a couple of my buddies when I was 14 into that, and they're like, "What? I have to? How long does it take me to cock my Colt 45?" I'm like, "Well." So, yeah, they were like, "This is crazy," and I was like, I love the idea that I was dealing in microseconds. I was like, "This is awesome."
Yeah.
But it doesn't flow. I admit it doesn't flow as well as the maps do. The maps are gorgeous.
Yeah, I like the maps. They're old style ASL type things, but a bit better because they made them just single panel, you know?
Yeah, and you're in that old town, Western Village. That's definitely where I would love to put ambush into that scenario. And the good thing is I'm trying to use the first 2 maps that are available in the base ambush game with maybe overlays, because the problem is nobody can get a hold of the extra maps from Purple Heart or Silver Star. You just can't do it. They're too expensive, and even the base game. So I don't know. I was riffing on if anybody out there could do, and Ron was pretty good. Somebody that can do that old style ambush map, because I may need some different maps. So, but we're working on a print and play because printing's gotten so crazy. And I do not have time anymore to do the printing myself and then boxing it up and shipping it out, that it's just going to be you purchase a print play and you either bling it or you print it on your home printer.
Yeah. It almost might be worth doing the maps on neoprene now because it's almost the same price and it's going to last long.
Right. So what else you got, Danny boy? And then I was going to read some more of the fans' quotes.
No, go ahead. Read the fan things.
All right, let me grab some of these. We're going to see if I can think I've got to pop back into the screen. That's not the way to do it. How did I have that? I think I had it this way.
There we go.
There we go. That's the way it was. All right, we're at Tom D. So Tom D 3 days ago said his fan favorites as a kid. So he's gone back to his youth. Were Stratego, Risk, Original Axis and Allies, Tank Battle from Milton Bradley, The Sinking of the Titanic from Ideal, pulled from stores, still has his copy. However, it's also on BGG as well. Favorites as an adult now for younger kids are Mansions of Madness.
Yeah.
That's a great one. My son was a little freaked out by it, so we don't play it. Commands and Colors. All the different versions there. Revolutionary War, Napoleonics, Memoir 44, Freeman's Farm, Worthington Dungeon, Mayhem, D&D card game, Castle Panic.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions are Pictionary, Mysterium, Pinte, Mastermind, X-Wing, and finally, blowing up plastic army men with firecrackers.
Of course.
Now, real quick, while I've got you on, Dan, what did you play as a kid, or what would you play with kids nowadays? Do you have any idea?
I don't play with kids. I even make videos of how it's like pulling teeth playing with my kids. They just don't want to. I mean, even playing with my girlfriend, I always say, hey, we're both at home. It's COVID. We can't go out. There's a curfew. You want to play a game? And before I say game, she's already like doing this. Anyways, the games I used to play, Risk a lot when I was a younger teenager. Then I got into Panzer Leader, man.
Nice.
You know, because I thought Risk was way too long. These games would last 3 hours. Bloody hell. So I away from Risk, Panzer Leader, and then I don't know, man. I started getting into the Avalon Hill games.
Perfect.
So what games do I play with my kids? I play Love Letter.
Nice.
That's nice. Celia loves Love Letter, and that's it, man.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took Love Letter to a family reunion once, and even they were like, "Hey, you're missing pieces." And I'm like,
Yeah,
no, I'm not. It's Japanese origin. It's very sparse, but it's very deep.
I think
there's intrigue in these cards, and they were like, "No way."
Did you see the Japanese version?
I have not.
I own that one.
You own that one, eh? Trevor, check it out. That on the Japanese version, you have a choice of who you want to be princess. Did you notice that?
Man, you're going to get me on a track. I played that game a couple times, and I'm like, this game sucks. But
it's intrigue with 16 cards. You pick one, you play one. You play one, you pick one.
Man, it's not intrigue. I'll play Deception, Murder in Hong Kong if I want intrigue.
Well, that is group intrigue.
Yes. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's somewhere here.
So you know the Japanese, and you can think whatever you want to think about this. I'm stating what it is, okay?
Okay.
So let's see here. I'm just looking at whatever. Oh yeah, okay. Okay.
Here's a love letter comment from Smythe. Love letter is good with kids. He agrees with Nuche.
Yeah. No, it's good. And with kids, it's abstracted a bit.
Yeah.
I would say kids what?
Vorpal says down with Panzer Leader.
What?
Yes. Boo, Panzer Bush. Not sure what that is.
This guy Vorpal.
Vorpal will come at you. He will come at you. His name is Hannibal, I think, is what he named his kids.
Bloody hell.
It's Hannibal the first, Hannibal the second, Hannibal the third. He ain't playing around.
No, it's like George Foreman, man. So we have the princess. This is I would say a Japanese looking princess, right? Wrong?
I'm gonna just agree since it's
okay, whatever. And
Did Japanese have Japan have princesses? I thought they had emperors.
that's a good question.
Well, I don't know.
Because for sure they don't have sex, these people.
Sure. You even have Panzer Blitz framed in the background. Wow.
Okay, so let me go on.
Keep going.
The same princess, see, number eight.
She's Auburn.
Okay, she's more on the Irish side, I would say.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she's very pale.
Yeah, very pale, but I don't think the rug matches
Oh, lordy.
because the eyebrows are.
Yeah,
brown. But it's a number 8, so
Yeah,
that's the same card. You can exchange it for your preference, right?
eyebrows is perfect.
And here's this one. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying.
Sure. I'm not sure where you're going, Frenchman.
So the Japanese are more. How do you say? Yeah.
Japanese.
So, can someone help me here?
I'm just saying.
In a moment.
No, you're on your own ledge there.
Yeah, nobody's helping you out.
I'm trying to say the Japanese are more accepting.
Sure.
And
Hold
sure.
on. I'm just clicking on people that are commenting is what I'm doing.
Why don't you just tell me to shut up?
Well, I don't know what to say. That seems rude. If you said that in Italian, it would sound better. How do you do that in Italian?
You're all going to fall in love with me, so I won't.
Yeah, well, okay. All right.
You know,
Let me-
I'm taking.
You're taking
So Dan, how about some Tim Hortons?
Like, what's next, Moose?
I'm just changing the subject for you.
Jeez, see how slow I am.
Hold on.
It's-
Let me pop back into Gunter here. We'll go to Gunter Lippens. Cool show, guys. That's basically just referencing me and Trevor there. Sorry, Dan.
Oh, you gotta share it, Bart.
Oh, shoot. It's not shared?
Nope.
Oh, sorry. Let me come back over to this. Nope,
There we
not that one. Hold on, not that one. I got to go to this one.
There we are.
Sorry. All right, Gunter. Gunter says, cool show, guys. Great theme. Judd won't have to worry about hurrying to come back. He's doing stuff with his daughters in sports. So that's good. He would love to see more with Trevor. You're getting it right now, Gunter. He's getting more Trevor and extra side of Pancaldi. 5, he lists Tigris and Euphrates. Great Knizia game. Somehow it misses with me, but I know it's number 1, so it's probably me, not Knizia. 4, Battle Lore. I prefer Battle Lore first edition over second, but that's probably just me as well. 3, Axis and Allies. 2, Risk. 1, Stratego. And boom, boom, boom. Very nice.
But
Let me pop.
Where do you guys get all the time to play games? Seriously?
Yeah, I know. We try to get him in. Cliff Shergan. Our journey, I like this. I like the idea of the journey. The journey was as follows. I'm going to go from 5 up. So 5 is Myth.
Yeah, I like that.
It's a great one to paint. I'm not a painter, but I got a buddy that just loved painting all the Myth stuff. 4 is Descent. I have Descent, and my boy was like, nope. And so I'll probably be selling Descent. 3 was Battle Lore. You'd think a role player would like Descent, but it didn't work at all. 2 is Memoir 44. Yes, and yes. And number 1, Catan, which brought a lot of folks in the States into the hobby.
So, Bart, on the Descent one, if that didn't hit and it was because of the theme, I did the same thing. My brother has Descent. I tried to show that to the kids, and it was just, blank stares. And then I showed them Imperial Assault because it's basically the same system.
Mm-hmm.
And, the Star Wars thing just stuck to them. So they, we have all the Imperial Assault, and Descent is not in my house. So
Got it.
It's the same mechanics?
yeah.
Yes.
It's just, and the cool thing about Imperial Assault is there's way more scenarios for it. And you can do it as a skirmish game. So you can just be like, hey, I'm going to take 4 characters. You get, some stormtroopers and some bad guys, and we'll fight like a regular war game. So we've played both.
Now, Timon6219 says this is a good stream using various Dice Tower YouTube moderator, streamer, and former streamer.
Yeah, the Dice Tower. I'm assuming he's talking about you being the former one and me being on the Dice Tower. I don't know what's Trevor doing here.
I've been moderating the Dice Tower since probably 2014. So
no way. Who knew that?
Yes.
Yeah. So I moderate pretty much all their live streams, and then I got started with Tom back in 08, 09 timeframe, and I've helped run the Jack Vassal Memorial Fund for the last 6-7 years. So his auction he does for raising money for gamers families. I've helped with the online thing for years.
Oh man, Florida?
See, look how tight this is. No, he's in California.
I'm in California.
Oh wow, so we seriously, it's funny, the Dice Tower touches a lot of people, man.
Well, he's huge. He's even going to have Trey Parker on this year.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on a second. Why do I know that name?
South Park guy.
Oh, okay.
Or I went to elementary school, junior high, and high school with Trey. So
No way.
I did. I was actually present when he did his dental thing in 6th grade. You even know that story?
No.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We had this like talent show, and I had even forgotten about this. And then I saw somebody had it featured that he scared 1st graders when he was in 6th grade. And I was like, that was Trey? Because he and some other guy had these white coats on, and then he brought out a chair, and it was like he was doing dental work, but fake blood starts flying, and he's pulling teeth. And the 1st and 2nd graders were crying, and parents were coming in like, what is going on? And his parents got called because he went too far.
Are you kidding me?
No, we were at a school called Marshdale Elementary. We got moved there in the 5th grade.
Maybe we should have Trey Parker on.
I doubt Trey even knows who the heck I am.
Hey, Trey, I thought you were talking about Trevor, man.
No, not Trevor. Trey, I'm telling you. I knew his name. I don't like this format. Hold on. His name is Randolph Parker III. We were in middle school, and a sub came in, and he went up to the sub, and he talked to her, and he came back. I said, what are you doing talking to the sub? He goes, I don't want her calling me Randolph. And he goes, I said, well, who the hell's Randolph? Because we all knew him as Trey because he's the 3rd. I had no idea until this point in like 8th grade. And so he tells the sub, hey, just kind of, when you're doing roll call, say Trey Parker, please, instead of this whole Randolph thing.
What the hell?
Yeah.
So is this a common thing for the 3rds? Because Harold Buchanan's son is named Trey, and he lives 15-20 minutes from me, and we've gamed a couple times.
I think it is. And guess what the sub does? She's going down the line, Randolph Parker, and he's like, God, he's like Pancaldi all of a sudden. He's like, what the bloody hell? Yeah, he
I would so do that without thinking. I would do it.
Yeah, and then 7th and 8th graders immediately they're like Randolph. I mean, it was exactly what he didn't want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, stop. You're going in there. You're just like, dude, just let me read the names. Get out of my face.
Yeah. And then we get into high school. Now, I was never like close friends with him or anything. We get into high school, and I didn't even like see him most of the time. He went into the arts, and he was starring in plays and stuff, and I wasn't in that realm. And what I saw was senior year in our senior hallway, the girl, her name was Leanne. I can't even remember. Gorgeous, like the most beautiful girl in our senior class. I can't even remember her last name. I'm walking through senior hall, and he's making out with her in the hallway. I'm like, God, what is Trey doing? I thought she was dating the quarterback. What is this? Well, it turns out they'd been in a play, and they were both the leads together, and the quarterback was out. Trey was in, baby. And I'm like, oh, my God, Trey's like an operator. And then I'll give you the final story. The final story, we're at our last mandatory – this is up in Evergreen, Colorado. We're at our last mandatory assembly, the whole class. There's like 460 of us or whatever. We all got to sit in the bleachers. I actually tried to ditch it. I got caught. We all had to listen to like the final whatever. You know, you guys got 3 months left, blah, blah, blah. We're going to be doing this, da, 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 da. And at the very end, the drama teacher comes out and he wheels out this piano and he says, before you leave, we are going to hear a song that was written and will be performed by Trey Parker. And Trey walks in from stage right. This is in the gymnasium. He walks in from stage right. He's wearing an all-white tux with tails. All right. Now, this is when Fame was big on TV. All right. Now, I wasn't thinking that yet because people are catcalling him. They're yelling at him. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, Trey's going to kill himself. What's he doing? What's he doing? Because people are yelling out stuff that I can't even, like, say. And I'm like, oh, this is horrible. This is horrible. So Trey walks up, sits down, addresses the 460 students in the senior class of 1988 and says, this is a song I've written, I'm going to perform to you, and it's called Dead Ballerina. And people are like, that's a stupid name, you know, I mean, and they're just, and I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Well, it's not even done. So he starts. People are yelling stuff, and I'm thinking, oh my God. Now, I ended up doing some comedy later in life, and I've seen a comic turn a room from bad to good, and it's amazing to watch. This is the first time I saw a singer turn the most hostile crowd I've ever seen in my life, a bunch of seniors about ready to graduate. About halfway through, some of the lyrics, which are they're very South Parky. It's out there on YouTube somewhere, Dead Ballerina. You can go see it or listen to it. It's all about taking this dead ballerina to the prom or something. I don't even remember. But they stop and they start to listen. And then amazingly, the crowd starts to shift. And I'm like, oh my God. I remember thinking this guy, Trey, needs to go to this Fame college. He's got something going on here. When he finishes, he stands up like he knew it'd be a hit. He gets a standing ovation. He slides the bench in for the piano and he walks off with his white tux and tails like he owns the joint. I was like, oh, what the hell was that? And then I'm a cop like 8 years later, and I see he's coming out with his "Oh Canada" or what was it? Blame Canada. He wins like an Oscar or an Emmy or a Grammy or something for it. And I'm like, that guy looks kind of like Trey. And then they go, Trey, what do you think of? I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I had no idea. Sorry, that's my Trey Parker story. So Trey has no idea who I am. But all of a sudden he flies Tom out to his studio, and I'm thinking, sweet. And I tell Tom, because I talk to Tom every once in a while, I go, hey, you know, I went to high school, middle school, and elementary school with Tom. He's like, what's your point? I'm like, I'm sorry. That's my only closeness to Fame. I apologize. Sorry.
Yeah.
There was a question here. Who's got the biggest game collection? I got about like what 500, but I'm talking about magazines and all that too. So
I think Trevor's got it. Let me go. Yeah, let me feature here. Look at this.
If you count all these as games, because this is like 200 right there.
Yeah,
maybe I do, but
yeah, you obviously would count them as games. If there's a game in there, why not?
No, these are all unpunched games.
Right.
Magazine. I just haven't I usually catalog it on BGG so I can keep track of what I have. Most of the things I have is I have like, you know, a game and then I have all of it. So it takes up a ton of room.
Yeah.
But I'll do a panning shot. So I have all these games, and hooks around, and then there's shelves on the other side as well. So
and you're and Trevor, all those I thought those magazines were like comic books, man. Like
those are STs, baby. Strategy and tactics, I bet.
Yeah.
Now, can I say something about strategy and tactics? I'm sure you probably were involved with that in 1862 when it first came out, Trevor.
Jim Dunnigan, baby. Jim Dunnigan.
It was hard during the Civil War, you know, second year of the Civil War, but
but the strategy and tactics, I don't have the subscription, but I don't know. I just find that it's starting to
Now, wait, are you talking C3I or are you talking?
No. Strategy and tactics.
Okay, the old school.
I find that it's almost like the armchair general. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Am I saying something I'm not supposed to be saying here?
I don't care. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, I don't know about the S&T design stuff. I got all these secondhand from a buddy of mine. But no, I kind of get where you're coming at. It's
I mean, C3I.
Issue 34.
C3I is incredible.
Yeah. Well,
that's an incredible magazine. I mean,
once a year. I mean, they do a great job, and they add in a game or two, and
or 3.
Right.
Yeah, it's a different. Yeah, it's a different. I think it's a different audience because C3I definitely has the
GMT.
It's GMT focus. It's also the insight from designers who designed either for GMT or C3I, and it's kind of, new scenarios and their insight on their game designs. S&T is kind of a little more, off the rails. It's not just talking about a game. It's not just talking about a recent design. So it kind of fits a different niche, I think. But yeah, I mean, I tend more towards the C3I as well because it's probably something that I was playing in the last, 5-6 months. But
well, and you mentioned Armchair General. I actually had a subscription to that for a while just because I loved reading history, and then they would do reviews of both board games and computer games. Matter of fact, wasn't it what's his name, Walker, that was one of the writers or reviewers of games in there?
I don't know. I know he wrote some reviews for Playboy and Penthouse.
Okay, didn't know that either. There we go, back to the breast.
Yeah, no, that guy's Mark Walker's is a deep feller. Many levels to this feller.
Got it. Let me pop in real quick and come back to, let me read, let's see, not Nano Writer. I thought we had a couple more on the list. Yeah, here we go, because Bozek here isn't going to want to get skipped. Good list, guys. I'm yet to find a wargamey, that's in quotes, game to introduce my girls who are both 4 and 7 years of age. Let's see. Zombie Society agrees it's too scary. I scared my son with that. His number one is Talisman Legendary Tales. No connection to the actual Talisman other than the name. Very basic story game that even a 4-year-old can play. Basic combat resolution. 2, Evolution, digital app of the game. Really good and quick game, teaching the basics of evolution in a fun way. Number 3, now we are on Talisman, oldie but goodie. So far, only tried digital app, but getting ready with the full set. Number 4, I actually have, but have not tried with my kids yet. Stuffed Fables. They also have a expansion that's about to come out or is out. Too complex for a 4-year-old, but my older is fascinated by the story. And 5, Star Wars Dark Side Rising, a nice co-op game for my Star Wars fix. I've played this one with my older a few months ago. Brutal game, was very good in teaching her how to handle defeat and measure probability. Learning how to handle defeat is not taught enough nowadays. I will definitely say that. And I think that catches us up. Let me pop back, bring us back on. Speaking of defeat, Pancaldi, let's come back to you.
Tell us about the Habs.
No. I stopped watching the Habs when they traded Chris Chelios.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dude, that was 87.
Yeah. Was that 87? Yeah. Well, they could kiss my bleep in 87 because I said, if that organization, we always talk about great defensemen, Bobby Orr. Nothing wrong with Bobby Orr. Bobby Orr's heavy, man. I'm going way back here, okay? And Serge Savard and whatever. Chris Chelios is the greatest defenseman, period. He played till he was 50, and he could still blast the end of boards at 50. My arm hurts picking up this bottle.
Yeah. I'm 50, and I can't even imagine. I have a hard time just sitting in this chair for the length of the show.
Wow, I thought you were older than that. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that I once went to a hockey game, and I was sitting 3rd row on the side of the corner, okay? And there was Patrick Roy was in nets, not Patrick Roy. Patrick Roy was in nets, okay? and there was a shot from the blue line. I forget who they were playing. Was it either was the Rangers or it was the Oilers at that time? Where Carbonneau was still there. Not Carbonneau. Charbonneau. Not Carbonneau. Charbonneau was there. Anyways, some guy took a slap shot from the blue line. I don't think a bullet can go that fast. I'm exaggerating. I don't think a bullet can go that fast. I'm still looking at the guy, and Patrick Roy is already like he already stopped the shot. I'm still looking at the guy who took the slap shot. I couldn't believe how superhuman they were. And you're probably thinking, why is Dan going off? Hold on. Schneider. And that was one of the reasons Schneider and Chelios were friends. And you know Ronald Corey? You guys know Ronald Corey. He's isn't he the GM of the NHL? NHLPA. See how long ago it been?
NHLPA, I don't know.
Okay, whatever. So they had a little threesome, him, Chelios, and Schneider with Corey's wife. That's personal. That's personal. Business is business. Now,
Right.
because Chelios, because Mrs.
Trevor says
Corey,
this is great.
hold on. Because Mrs. Corey jumped the fence, because I'm sure a Greek and a German, they're restrained with that. But anyways, okay, so they traded the guy, but that's not even what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that Schneider was in the corner. Oh, I'm too loud. She says I'm too loud. Come on.
You're getting in trouble at home.
Come on. Anyway, Schneider's in the corner trying to get the puck in the corner. You know, and this guy, I don't know who it was, but he comes skating in. And this guy was a man, not a skinny pup like Chief. This guy was a man. And he blasted Schneider so hard. I got up and I screamed, "He's dead!" Because there's no way in hell anybody could survive such a, my God, such a body shot. In seconds, the guy gets up, seconds, and skates. And I don't even know why I'm saying this story because you said Chelios. But anyways, yeah.
Hey,
I don't want to talk to you.
You said Chelios.
Yeah.
I was off on Dead Ballerina, man, and so.
Well, anyways, I don't watch hockey anymore because they traded Chelios. If a stupid organization like the Molson Brewery can make a stupid decision like that, I mean, who's next? Wayne Gretzky? Patrick Roy? Who's next? Gone. Charbonneau, gone. Schneider, gone.
I like you saying Patrick Roy. He played for the Avalanche for a while.
Yeah, and you know what? When he did the motion to Mario Tremblay, do you guys remember this?
I do.
Okay, remember that look there, like you piece of you know what? Yeah. Okay, he was traded. Patrick Roy was traded. Trevor, tell me what happened to the Avalanche when they were traded half the season. What happened that year?
They had to wait a couple of years to get Ray Bourque.
No. What happened that year when Patrick Roy was traded to the Avalanche?
Man, the Avalanche were a dynasty there for about 8-9 years.
They won the Stanley Cup that year, okay? Molson. Don't get me started on Molson. Don't get me started on Molson.
Love it.
It's okay. We just had that same issue a couple of years ago. That's how my Sharks ended up with Erik Karlsson because his wife was getting harassed by another player on the team's wife. And I'm like, why do we end up with this guy who's just sitting on the bench being injured? I was like, come on, can we? Whatever.
I seem to think, these guys are professionals. They should, a modicum of decorum here. These guys are 18, 19 years old. What were you doing when you were 18, Trevor? What were you having coffee, reading the New York Times?
Yeah, he was gaming, baby. He was gaming.
Okay, so you're a geek.
It was actually more like this when I was 18.
Yeah, so you're a geek, man. You're not like the Chief, hardcore, you rub your nose in the ground kind of life.
No, I wasn't off doing military life.
There you
That's
go.
what I'm talking about.
Fort Lost in the Woods is where I was at.
Yeah.
Guys, I just remembered I have an interview scheduled in about 15 minutes. I can't believe it.
Holy moly! Who are you interviewing? We'll get you out of here on your show. But who are you interviewing?
Brian Train.
Oh yeah, you bet.
So you know what? And I don't know Brian Train very well, even though he lives in Canada. But he's only 6,000 kilometers away from me. But anyways, Canada's a big country, people. It's a big country.
Yeah, but you all live right near the southern border.
Why don't you send him some mail? Maybe it'll be there in 7 months.
Right. Yes. You can drive there quicker. We don't like your mail system. We don't like your northern mail system. It's bad.
Yeah, because your system is good, Bart, eh?
It's good. It gets, the only system better is Germans. The Germans get it there before you even ship the darn thing.
Well, that's because they made a game about it.
Right. They've got games about there. Hold on. What? Oh, I thought you were tipping a bottle already. Woo.
He's trying to sober up before the interview.
No, man, it's 1:15. It's I don't know what time it is in BC for him, but in 45 minutes I got to be on, and I'm going to say something very embarrassing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got to do some research on Brian Train before I interview him in 15 minutes. So I got to let you go.
All right. Pop out. We liked it.
and thanks, Trevor, man, for giving me the link.
Oh,
and thanks, Mark. You guys are doing great, man.
Oh, you're awesome. When you showed up in the bottom, I was like, looky. I like you all. Get out of here, brother. Bye-bye.
Later, dude.
Nice. So we had a little Pancaldi explosion is what I like to call that.
I saw we only had like 5 or 6 lists. So I figured we could fill the rest of the time talking about food and Canada.
Beautiful. And Caldy brings the energy. We went left. We went right. We went yard, baby. We went yard. So very nicely done. Very nicely. Cool. Anything you want to say to wrap up? I'll kind of look through some comments as you do.
No, I mean, this is just to kind of finish that story with, I think a lot of gamers who have been gaming for a while did the same kind of route I did, where you found, Scott Nicholson really introduced gaming to me with Agricola. And then right after that, I found Dice Tower. And, I love coming on, contributing, because I know 99% of the people who do this do it out of the passion for gaming, including Dan, including you, Judd, all these guys. And it's kind of that outlet from regular life per se. So just thanks to Dan, thanks you guys. The chat, always fun coming on here. For me, it's early Saturday morning. Some of you guys out in Sweden, it's mid-afternoon. But yeah, man, I have fun. Anytime you need anything, let me know. It's great. Love coming on, chatting about whatever.
And that's what I love is it's funny. I was talking to my sister. She does a knitting channel, and I went on and did a whiskey thing with her. And she was talking about how it shrinks the world. And and that is cool. And we're all able to go in and find our niche. But even that, I didn't know you were a moderator with the Jack Vassal Memorial and all of that. And I remember that going on. And so the links, and Tom is so giving, quite honestly.
Yeah.
He's awesome. And, so the gaming, just like I said, whether it's Whiskey Show or here, fans from Sweden, all over the world, Australia, New Zealand, Germany, the UK, Canada. It's just awesome. And it's so nice coming in and doing exactly what that is. I actually liked how that was so much. I think I got to send some occasional links out. Maybe somebody jumps in, maybe they don't. That was like this cameo. And like I said, somebody in here, I can't find it. It might have been Vorpal, said, "Hey, I tuned in to watch a board game deal and a hockey game broke out." Or a hockey fight or something. I saw it pop by in the list. And
I think that's the thing, right? Is we're all like kind of along the same lines. We all like playing board games. We all like talking about it. And there's all, things that we enjoy doing. So just that, especially nowadays, but this was the magic of conventions is you get together, you play a game for 3-4 hours, you're sitting at a table, but it's you know, you're talking about all the random stuff, and that's how I met Bobby Factor, who's, you know, Kabuki. I, you know, have kind of chatted with because she's in the East Coast,
Right.
and you know, we have these friends that are all over the place, and you just randomly meet them, and sometimes you just randomly meet them on a live stream. So yeah,
Exactly. Yep. 100%. So again, we're wrapping up on our games for kids. I'm a huge proponent of, and it doesn't have to be war games, but the history that's wrapped in. You know, one of the cool things I'm seeing with even a lot of homeschooling going on is that they're realizing, you know, whether it's founding fathers or you name it, they're realizing the power that games give as far as diving deeper into the history. So, you know, what Academy Games does with a lot of their games, and even including, I don't know if I'd call it a textbook, but it's almost like a study primer that comes with the game that they can buy.
yeah, that's we have that. So I was homeschooled all the way till college, and
Really?
yeah, so I officially graduated high school when I was about 14, 15. And, you know, my dad's just like, okay, go get a job, learn what the real life world's about. And that's kind of, you know, I printed that out with the kids. I enjoy teaching with that, but I have those Academy Games, those teaching like modules per se, because it's like lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3. And with these historical based games, especially with the ease of entry, you know, 1775, 1812, you know, these kind of games, which are the mechanisms are simple. And if they can, I'm sure, I don't know if Uwe did that. I mean, Uwe's, you know, financially well off and a super smart dude, same as his son. I mean, they could have put that teaching module together, but I'm sure he hired someone who could do that. But if companies did that, that's it's a great way for families to introduce stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't agree more. And I mean, you know, Uwe's so interesting. If you guys get a chance to talk to him at a con, he loves actually interacting.
Yep.
That's probably one of the biggest things I miss about the cons is I actually found I didn't get as much gameplay done as I would sit and talk to fellow gamers or Uwe, you know, or folks that love single malt whiskey or bourbon will come up and then they'll say, hey, you got to try this. And I'm like, wow. So, and then the culture that surrounds gaming is just, I find it, I've actually found war gamers or historical gamers very open to, hey, come in, let me teach you this system or this game or whatever. And very, very open group of folks. When I started seeing like, you know, BGG, they had the war room, and I was like, well, that's kind of cool. So there's these war gamers that are still out there. Because what brought me back in was the Euros. And, you know, gaming with, again, circling back to this top 5 list, gaming with your kids, gaming with your family, it's so helpful. I still remember even just card games with my grandparents and my aunts and uncles when I was 5 and learning how to throw cards in when we were playing spades or hearts or whatever. So cool. Let me look here. There were a couple of last comments and then we'll sign off. I saw Vorpal was all over your shirt for a while there. He was giving you the business.
I know. I have to talk to most of my. So if you know me, I have, you know, a lot of dress shirts and tons of Aloha shirts. So I have probably 10 or 15 Tommy Bahama shirts because
Nice.
when you work at home, you know, whatever, you can wear whatever you want.
Right. Now
No, funny story about that. When the last convention we went with, we're waiting for another friend, which was actually Bobby Factor we were waiting for. And we sat down and I was like, hey, I have Wingspan. Let's play this. So we played with a guy who I forget what they're called, but they go look at birds as like their hobby. And he was just super jazzed that they had this game about it. So we're playing the game and my kids are there. So we're playing the game and he's telling us all about this birding that he does and where he's been, all these birds he's seen while we're playing the game. So my kids were all jazzed up about this. Like, wait, you can actually go do that? Like find birds and they have like, apps where it's like, hey, I spotted a, whatever. So it's just the cross pollination of like different hobbies and whatnot is just amazing in when we sit down at a table and talk with people.
100%. When we go off air, I got a funny story on bird watching. You would think I could tell it on air, but I cannot. So I'll tell you when we go off. But we're close. But Smith, Chief, your thoughts on reissue of Rommel in the Desert on Kickstarter? Well, my thoughts are easy. The more we can get things, whether it's P500, Kickstarter, or whatever board games that come out, the better. So I think the way micro funding is set up, it doubles as advertising. And so you're even seeing a lot of things on BGG where the coin series is that cross between Euro and War Game, and the way it brings people in. And so I always say be open to funding streams that are different, or styles of games that are mixed matches that blend things together. I'll be honest with everybody here is while we're talking about wargaming. As I've gotten older, I've always been the lighter wargamer, less the grognard anyway. But I love things that I can get into pretty quickly, that I can play, they still feel very historic, but that they flow easier. I'm not nearly as interested in the glacious slope of the panther versus the thickness of the armor of the tiger. I want that abstracted a little bit to show everything. So that's where I'm at. I'm not asking everybody to meet me where I'm at, but it's I don't know. I keep wondering if it'll be different by the time I retire, but I'm trying to enjoy my kids while they're here as well. Is that I don't have time to play. I can barely get to what I'm doing now. I've still got my kids and my grandson. We're looking at Red Alert from Plastic Soldier Company over here, which is the CNC space game. It just beckons, and it's way overdone with the minis and the cloth mat. But if you're going to put something together and spend some time with a CNC game in space, and you got little fighters and you got battleships, I mean, it's just that aspect of it. So I'm definitely leaning light, but I don't know. What are your final thoughts there, Trevor? And then we'll close on out of here.
No, that's I'm with you on that. I tend to play the lighter games more. I want to do the heavier games, but I have 3 of my own kids plus another kid in the house. I have so much going on. It's, if to sit down, and I think that's probably the majority of gamers, is if you can get, 2 to 3 hours a week to play and maybe get a game or 2 in, there's definitely that space for those, 4-hour games. And I have them. I love setting them up and, pushing the chits around, but it's there for everybody. I mean, that's the fun about is war games is either if you lean towards the light side, you like playing Grizzled or Memoir, or you like going straight some of the big ones like Bloody April or Gettysburg or whatnot. It's that talking about the history is the magic.
Yeah, 100%. And then the netting together of the family time. I mean, you just know my dad has passed, but I still remember we loved to play what he called pounce or multiple solitaire together. And it's that whole, and we would get these big games together, and it's just that coming together and that shared interaction. And I almost feel, and I don't mean to be mean to anybody, everybody in here gets it, I almost feel sorry for those families that can't gather together around the table and experience, and it doesn't matter what it is. It could be space. It could be a worker placement Euro, which I love. But the idea that you can come together and do this stuff, which is why I do things at the house where we try to get groups over here. COVID's put a clamp on it, hopefully the vaccine and everything else comes in and help out. But when we bring folks over and they go, oh, this is what you mean by gaming. And then they, you know what I do is I catch them looking at my wall of games over here. Yep. And every once in a while, they'll pull off, sometimes even an older game. Oh, I remember my dad had Panzer Blitz. And I'll be like, oh, yeah, that thing sold tons, and I'll tell them, come on over. We can try something in the World War II genre. So, yeah. But, and then just imagine the way it's with our list, it's playing it forward into the future generations. No different than my dad teaching me to, hey, pitch this card into the pile as I'm playing hearts or whatever. So, cool.
Yep. My dad grew up playing, what the heck is that thing called? Cribbage and pinochle. So I grew up with cards in my hand for sure. And my grandmother was a shark at some of these games. So
yes, it was to the point in my grandparents' house. It was so funny. I was in the Army and someone's like, let's play Oh Hell. And I was like, I've played Oh Heck. And they started laughing at me because they realized before I did that my grandparents wouldn't allow you to say hell in their house. Yep. So when we played that one, it was Oh Heck. And here I am 22 playing spades in the Army and someone wants to play Oh Hell. And I realized for the first time, oh, my parents didn't allow you to curse in their house. So it had to be called Oh Heck.
Yep.
Those
things we all figure out. And it's like, oh, it's probably for a good reason, right?
Right. Yeah. And they're long gone, but I sit there and think, well, isn't that cool? So I love it. Thanks for everybody that's tuning in. Thanks for all the great comments. I know I didn't get to all of you. Sometimes I'll do a roll call. We didn't do that. We had the Pancaldi pop in, which I love. I think I'm going to work on that some more. Thank you for helping to facilitate that, Trevor. I got to admit, very rarely do I get excited. And I saw him come in. So on StreamYard, he comes in shadowed at the bottom of my screen. I'm like, Pancaldi. And I just FaceTimed him yesterday. So I immediately clipped him in and then off we went to the races. So there's nothing I like better. So thank you, everybody. Thanks, Trevor. Hang on the line. Everybody else, thank you. This one went long. It'll take a while to get processed and put up on YouTube, but please, hopefully, if you've watched it in post, you've enjoyed it. So see you guys later.